The Social Network from 2010 is a compelling exploration of ambition, friendship, betrayal, and the creation of a technological empire that reshaped global communication. The film follows Mark Zuckerberg, a Harvard student and programming prodigy, during the period when he develops Facebook and navigates the moral, legal, and social consequences of his actions. Rather than a conventional biographical account, the narrative emphasizes the complexity of human relationships, the allure of power, and the cost of success in a world increasingly defined by connectivity and influence. From the outset, the story establishes a tone of relentless ambition and intellectual ferocity, presenting Zuckerberg as a brilliant but socially awkward individual whose drive often alienates those closest to him. The film opens with a personal crisis. Mark experiences a breakup that acts as both a catalyst for his entrepreneurial drive and a lens through which his social interactions are filtered. This moment is critical because it introduces the audience to Mark's intense focus on control, logic, and the desire to prove himself, while simultaneously highlighting his difficulty navigating personal relationships. The breakup scene is understated yet emotionally resonant, suggesting that his creation of Facebook is motivated not only by opportunity, but by a need to assert dominance, social visibility, and intellectual superiority. This duality, personal insecurity driving professional brilliance, permeates the film and frames Mark's subsequent interactions with peers and collaborators. Zuckerberg's collaboration with Eduardo Saverin, a fellow Harvard student, is central to both the narrative and thematic structure. Eduardo is portrayed as socially adept, loyal, and idealistic, complementing Mark's technical genius with financial support and personal guidance. Their friendship begins with mutual respect and shared ambition, but as Facebook grows, tensions emerge. Eduardo expects ethical conduct, equitable ownership, and consideration for social relationships, while Mark prioritizes innovation, rapid expansion, and strategic dominance. This divergence becomes increasingly pronounced as the business moves beyond Harvard and begins to attract the attention of venture capitalists, advisors, and competitors. The tension between loyalty and ambition, friendship and pragmatism, forms the emotional core of the story, driving both narrative suspense and character development. The introduction of Sean Parker, co-founder of Napster, significantly escalates the stakes. Parker embodies charisma, risk-taking, and worldliness, representing a model of success unbound by traditional ethics or social norms. His entrance into Facebook's trajectory accelerates the company's growth while simultaneously complicating internal dynamics. Parker's influence encourages Mark to pursue aggressive expansion, embrace untested strategies, and navigate legal ambiguities in ways that challenge Eduardo's trust and ultimately contribute to the fracturing of their partnership. Parker serves as both mentor and provocateur, embodying the seductive allure of Silicon Valley's culture, where vision, speed, and disruption often outweigh ethics, loyalty, and personal responsibility. The narrative structure of the film employs a non-linear timeline, alternating between deposition scenes, interviews, and flashbacks that gradually reveal the evolution of conflicts and betrayals. This technique creates a sense of inevitability while maintaining suspense, emphasizing both cause and consequence. The deposition sequences, in particular, reveal the aftermath of business decisions and interpersonal conflicts, allowing characters to articulate grievances, rationalizations, and moral judgments. The film uses these legal frameworks not merely to dramatize corporate disputes, but to highlight the ethical ambiguities inherent in ambitious ventures and the human cost of technological disruption. The film meticulously depicts the procedural and technical aspects of Facebook's development, from initial coding, interface design, and viral dissemination on campus, to negotiations with investors and incorporation in Silicon Valley. These sequences underscore Mark's brilliance while demonstrating the meticulous attention, foresight, and adaptability required to transform an idea into a global platform. Simultaneously, they reflect the tension between innovation and interpersonal ethics, illustrating that groundbreaking achievements are often accompanied by conflict, alienation, and unintended consequences. The juxtaposition of technical mastery with emotional detachment becomes a recurring motif, questioning whether success achieved without regard for human connection can ever be fulfilling. Conflict escalates as Eduardo realizes that his equity in Facebook is being diluted, and that strategic decisions are being made without his consent. The tension culminates in legal action, with Eduardo suing Mark and the company for betrayal, misrepresentation, and exclusion from ownership. These proceedings serve as both plot mechanism and thematic exploration, revealing the fragile nature of trust, the impact of ambition on personal relationships, and the broader ethical dilemmas faced by innovators in high-stakes environments. Mark's rationalizations, grounded in logic, vision, and perceived necessity, contrast sharply with Eduardo's appeals to loyalty, fairness, and personal ethics, highlighting the collision of divergent value systems. The film's climax is less about courtroom resolution than about the emotional and psychological consequences of success. Although Mark ultimately retains control of Facebook, he faces isolation, alienation, and the ongoing judgment of peers, legal authorities, and the public. The narrative emphasizes that technological achievement does not inherently yield satisfaction or moral clarity. Rather, it often magnifies personal flaws and interpersonal conflicts. Mark's final scenes depict a solitary figure, obsessively refreshing social media pages, suggesting that even immense power, wealth, and influence cannot compensate for relational deficits and the human need for connection. This ending underscores the film's meditation on ambition, ethics, and the personal cost of innovation. The Social Network excels in its combination of sharp dialogue, dynamic pacing, and carefully constructed tension. Its screenplay, direction, and performances create a layered portrayal of ambition and betrayal, making the creation of Facebook simultaneously thrilling and morally complex. The film interrogates themes of friendship, loyalty, power, and ethical compromise while capturing the zeitgeist of early 21st century technology culture. By blending procedural rigor, character study, and social commentary, it presents a story that is both specific to the genesis of a global platform and universally resonant as an exploration of human ambition, ingenuity, and the consequences of unchecked desire for recognition and success.